The following is a presentation of TFNN. The Trader's Edge with Steve Rhodes. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648 or internationally at 727-873-7618. The Trader's Edge. Now, Steve Rhodes.
Good morning, folks. Welcome to the January 10th, otherwise known as the terrific Tuesday edition of today's Trader's Edge Show. I'm your host, Stevie Perseverance Rhodes, who absolutely knows that each of us should always be pioneers of our future versus prisoners of our past. Hope everyone out there is having a great day. And let's make sure we have an extraordinary one. The easiest way to do that is to always remember that life is happening for us, not to us. That's right. When you and I make that one little 2x4 shift, that means we can find the gift in every set of circumstance that life is going to toss at us. Now, today, you and I, we're going to go check on the circumstance of these markets. We'll go figure out what those bulls and bears, what those buyers and sellers are communicating to you and I at just past 11 o'clock in the morning. I do want you to know I'm absolutely grateful for your presence here. But even more important than that, and that's this. During this next 53 minutes, I'm here to serve you. So feel free to pick up that phone. Would love to hear from you. You can give us a call at 877-927-6648. Now, if you'd like to call in, but you can't, and you have a question to be answered, well, you can send me an email regardless. Send that to Steve at TFNN.com. And inside the subject heading, please put radio show question. Of course, if you're inside our Tiger's Den, well, then any and every ping will do. So let's go ahead and get this show started on terrific Tuesday. Of course, this is Tiger Financial News Network. I'm Steve Rhodes. Welcome to the show. Right now, you got a mixed bag out there. You got the Dow, S&P, NASDAQ, and Russell trading higher. The semis and trannies trading a bit lower. You've got gold up $3, silver's down 8 pennies. Light sweet crude is flat. Natural gas is down 33 cents. 30-year Treasury down 1 point and about 1.5 points, trading out at 128.13. Leading the charge, dollar-wise, the upside, you've got Thermo Fisher Scientific, 4.5% move. That's equivalent of $24.60. Regeneron Pharmaceuticals up 3.5% or $24. Icon PLC, nearly 8%. Almost $16. IDEX Laboratories, 13 and change, about 3%. Mercado Libre, up 1 3/10%. That's 12 plus to the upside. If we take a look at downside, the shakers out there, you got Broadcom, Avgo, it's a ticker symbol. It's down $20. It's 3.5%. Illumina is down 6% or $12. Super Micro Computer down about 10%, $8 and change. Intuit down about $7, about 1 7/10%. Helen of Troy down $6.60. That's nearly 6% to the downside. She's trading out at 110.10. So we've got some movers and we've got some shakers. Of course, I want to know what you want to look at. Let's begin by taking a look at the equity future contracts out here. So what do we have going on? Well, what we know is we've got good old-fashioned consolidation patterns in place out here. Those consolidation patterns, if we take a look at the ES Mini, we can see that price is trading with inside its daily profile, the top of which is 39.54, tested and rejected yesterday. If you look at the NQ is still trading with inside that swing point from all the way back here on October the 13th. That's a level that price needs to clear. On top of that, price needs to clear the top of its bearish structured daily profile, and that's at 11,280. If price can do that, then it's going to signal a move up to the 11,735 level. In the case of the Dow equity future contract, right now just trading slightly above top of its profile. 33,702. We're at 33. Well, now we're at 33,707. So if price can stay above 33,702, close above 33,702, its message is a run up to at least 34,256. And the Russell 2000, pretty wide consolidation, pretty wide profile, I should say, bullish in structure, price above the center line, 1765. That typically assures us of a move up to the top of that profile. And that says targets 1853. So that's what's going on when we take a look at the 4 equity future contracts. Now, fighting that move higher is the mere fact that the New York Stock Exchange Advanced Decline Oscillator is in the oversold condition. Oversold condition is when we get above plus 150. The actual close yesterday of that oscillator reading was 169.89. Well, nope, 178.55. 178.55. Now, the reason why I point that out is typically when you get a close above plus 150, what it does is signals to you and I, doesn't tell us when. Doesn't mean it's the next day, although in this case it was the next day. But still doesn't tell. What it really tells us is that we should expect higher prices in the future. Not years from now, in the near term kind of future out here. But first, what needs to happen, or what should happen, is that oversold condition should be worked off. Now, it can be worked off just simply by price moving sideways inside the New York Stock Exchange, but we are in an overbought condition, and more likely than not, we should see a move lower out there. If we take a look at Fox or our spot volatility VIX contract out there, or index, I should say, we can see that 50-day exponential moving average is at 22.95. That's the level that price would need to overcome in order for the sellers to really start cheering. So right now, what do we have? If we summarize it, we just simply go back to those equity future contract, and for the most part, what we have is a consolidation, sideways move out here, the Dow being the leader. The Dow being the leader continues to tell us that we do have global capital that's making its way into those large cap stocks. So if you're going to short something, make sure it's not part of the Dow. Make sure it's not a big cap stock out there, because that could lead to trouble or double trouble. So what do we want to take a look at next? Let's go take a look at those ES. Well, you want to know what? It's pretty interesting here. If we take a look at this morning's action, what identified the tops this morning? So let's go change over to our white background charts. These are the ones that I produce with my Ninja Trader application. And what we're going to do here is we're going to change over to the 10-minute time frame. So this morning was all about Obi-Wan Kenobi, because he loves that 10-minute time frame. It turns out the 10-minute time frame, if we take a look at the ES, the NQ, and the Dow equity future contract, well, they all in concert with each other. Nice symphony out there, formed bar number 9. And that set up the top out here. So each of them did that. That occurred out here at the time frame of bar number 9, completed at 10:20 this morning. And what did that do? If we take a look at the ES Mini, let me just expand out the chart. That way we're all looking at the exact same chart out here. What we can see is on a 10-minute basis, price did what? Pulled all the way back to support. That's all. When you get a topping pattern out here, in this case, it was really 2 topping patterns, the TD9 count, the Rhodes Momentum Indicator top, and what that did was that took price right back to support. We don't know if price is ever going to break support. In the case of the ES Mini, there were 2 levels. The first level is 39.03. The second level is 38.29. Now, we can see that price is going to go take on resistance. That's at 39.24. If price can close above 39.24, price will make a run for the TD9 count top. That high so far this morning would be 39.1950. So watch the 39.24 level when it comes to the ES Mini. If we take a look at the NQ, we just simply expand this out and take a look at what it was doing. The same dang thing. Forms a TD9 count top. No Rhodes Momentum Indicator top, but a TD9 count top. Price takes its way all the way back to support at 11.152. Now, what price is doing is taking on an area where both buyers and sellers believe there's fair value within this 10-minute time frame, and that's at the 11.210 area. Price can close above 11.210. We ought to see a run at 11.254. Close above 11.254. What we ought to see is a run for that TD9 count top, and that's up at the 11.283. To the downside, what you would watch is 11.105.25. That's the TD9 count breakout resistance level. Finally, let's go take a look at that Dow here before we go to a break. What did it do? Also a TD9 and Rhodes Momentum Indicator top. Price pulls right back to support at 33.602. The resistance level here is 33.753. That's resistance 1. Resistance 2 is going to be 33.811. Steve Rhodes with TFNN. We'll be right back.
Currencies, commodities, and bond markets are as important as ever right now with how they're driving the volatility in equity markets across the globe, which is why it's a great time to try out Teddy Kegstat's Tiger Forex Report. Teddy Kegstat breaks down the Forex markets every Monday using his 30-plus years of experience as a trading veteran of futures, Forex, stocks, and options. Teddy releases his weekly Tiger Forex Report every Monday morning with coverage of all the major currency pairs, including the dollar index, the euro dollar, pound dollar, dollar Swiss, dollar yen, as well as many more, and he also has weekly coverage of the crude oil market and the 30-year T-bonds, as they both influence Forex markets tremendously. When you sign up for the Tiger Forex Report, you also gain instant access to Teddy's 60-minute webinar archive he just hosted, Forex Strategies and Fundamentals, What is Behind the Tiger Forex Report. For all the details and to start your 30-day Tiger Forex Report subscription today, visit the front page of TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
You might think that if you want to be successful at trading in the stock market, you're going to need a crystal ball. After all, it's impossible to predict the future, right? Like any endeavor in life, before you decide it's impossible, get some advice from the experts. You might find that it's not so impossible after all. For daily market overviews that give you direction on the key indices, selective stocks, and commodities, subscribe to the Opening Call newsletter at TFNN.com. The Opening Call newsletter is written by Basil Chapman, creator of the trading methodology known as the Chapman Wave. The Chapman Wave up-down sequence gives you an edge in identifying price turns, finding the peaks and valleys in stock prices. Get the Opening Call newsletter by Basil Chapman in your inbox every day. First-time subscribers also get a 30-day money-back guarantee. If you're not satisfied, let us know, and you'll get a full refund within 30 days of signing up. TFNN.com, educating investors.
Steve Rhodes started his trading career as a student almost 20 years ago, and the student has now become the master. Steve won the prestigious Timer of the Year award in 2018 and barely missed that mark again in 2019, finishing at number 2 for the year. An amazing accomplishment. Steve Rhodes is committed to sharing his techniques and knowledge with anyone who wants to learn, and he shares his vast amount of trading knowledge every day in his Mastering Probability newsletter. Steve's award-winning newsletter, Mastering Probability, is delivered every trading day with updates throughout the afternoon. Sign up for Steve's market newsletter, Mastering Probability, and you'll receive access to 7 of Steve's educational webinars absolutely free. At TFNN, all our newsletters come with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have absolutely nothing to worry about. Visit TFNN.com and try Mastering Probability 30 days risk-free today. TFNN, educating investors.
Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-873-7618.
Welcome back, folks. We got the Dow up 43, S&P up 5, NASDAQ's up 21, the Russell's up 8 points. Let's go to our first caller. It is John in Philly. John, thanks for calling. Thanks for holding. Happy New Year to you. How are you today?
Steve, I'm doing very well. Hope you're doing the same, and Happy New Year to you, sir.
Thank you very, very much. So I know you're calling to discuss gold. So tell us what how I can best help you.
I'm calling with some specific questions in hopes you could help me navigate the ongoing rally in COMEX gold futures.
Okay.
Steve, I will make the observation on the COMEX futures chart, the weekly charts. This week is the bar after bar 9 of a TD9 count on that weekly chart.
Correct.
So you have always instructed when we get to bar 8, 9, or the bar after 9 on those TD counts, merely be aware of a pause in the trend at a minimum and potentially reversal of a trend. So
correct.
With all that observation made, my very specific question is this. I see Fed futures are currently trading 1880. What price level underneath the market right now is the level that you're focused upon that, if broken, would tell you we've got something, some sort of decline just beginning? And if that price level that you're about to give me does break, what might we head down towards? So if you could answer those two questions, I'd be much obliged.
Okay, so what I've got up here on my screen, folks, even though John is just calling about gold, it happens to be my gold and silver set of charts here, where I'm taking a look at the longer term aspect. So I've got the yearly charts out there, the monthly, the weekly, and the daily. But that works out really well right now for John's question. So as John pointed out, let me just get rid of the A to B equals CD to the downside that the weekly chart had completed, is that we are now in the bar following bar number, whoops, don't do that, Stevie. We are in the bar following bar number 9 of a TD9 count. And that suggests that we could or should see some type of top. And typically what will happen, I can't get rid of that, but typically what will happen, John, when you get a confirmed topping pattern, the first place that I would look to would be profile levels. Now, because I have the continuous contract up on this screen here, I don't have those profile levels for the weekly time frame shown. But what I'm going to try to do here, oh, good, I've got them on my my other chart out here. So I've got the actual February contract level. So we've got the TD9 count top. So the first level of support for it is going to be the top of its weekly profile, John, and that is at $18.36, $18.37, let's call it. It's $18.36.90 to be exact out there. So that would be the first level of support that I would be looking at. If price were to close below $18.36.90, then I'd be looking at whatever the oscillator and change line value is at that time. It's currently at $17.85, but that's not going to be the number if gold were to pull back to $18.36.90. So that's the first thing that I would look at, or the first set of numbers. A shorter term or a lesser set of numbers would be $18.49. And 1849 happens to be the monthly oscillator and change line at the moment. And we can see that price is above that. If we were to close the month of January above that line, that would be a very bullish outcome. That would tell us on a monthly basis, gold has a rising price oscillator above zero. Those are bullish conditions. That would suggest a run up to the 2100-ish area out there. So a second level to look at would be $18.48.90. If price closes below that, does that mean anything? It just means that you could expect or anticipate a further retracement. That's why you would then go look at the weekly chart. Now, when we get a topping pattern, folks, on a time frame, in this case here, as John pointed out, we're taking a look at the weekly time frame. To really confirm that a top is likely to take transaction, you like to look at the shorter term time frames. Well, on this set of charts out here, the only one that I have is a daily time frame. It turns out that's really the only chart that we really need to look at. Why is that? Because what we can see here, and I'm going to expand out the chart, John, is that what's been triggered is a Rhodes momentum indicator signal. Now you can see at the bottom here, that was what identified the bottom was a Rhodes momentum indicator bottom as well as a TD9 count. Well, just turns out we may get the same set of patterns out here up at the highs. Now we are in bar number 8 right now. John, that high took place yesterday. In order for a TD9 count top to form, price is going to have to at least spike above yesterday's high. Now, it could do it today, it could do it tomorrow on Wednesday, or it could do it on Thursday and still develop that TD9 count top. So the level that price must spike above, doesn't have to close above it, is 1886.40. That would then trigger could trigger a TD9 count top. Still, tomorrow's bar has to complete. So bar number 9 has to complete no matter what. You can also see that what we have out here is wave number 7. That's letter G. If we don't get a higher high today, well, that would actually be a topping signal. And that would then suggest that price would pull back to its oscillator and change line on a daily time frame. And that would be at 1861. So granted, I've given you basically 3 or 4 or 5, maybe different numbers out here, but each of them are representative of their time frame chart. So the monthly was dealing with the monthly time frame, the weekly numbers that I gave you for that. And then on the daily time frame out here, the first level I'd be looking at, John, would be that 1861.60 level on a retracement. If price were to get below that, well, then that's going to bring that weekly top of its profile into play at 1836. And if price gets below that, then the daily profile, that 1806 number, would pop up on my screen out there. So did I provide you with the numbers or the information that you were looking for?
Steve, that is everything I need and more.
Oh, perfect. Okay. All right. Great.
And Steve, I'll sign off by thanking you, and just say in closing, COMEX Gold Trading has a somewhat regular phenomena of pulling back for some period of time, sometimes only a day or two, sometimes a couple of weeks, into options expiration on options traded on COMEX futures. And just for what it's worth, the next COMEX options expiration is 12 trading days hence. So we're rallying very nicely. And if that somewhat regular phenomena unfolds, sometime in the next 12 trading days, a pullback certainly would not surprise.
That's excellent information. And can I share with people the number that you're really looking at? And now, we haven't talked about this, but I know it's a number that you're observing, and that's at 1872.80. Is that correct?
That is correct. Yes,
okay,
exactly.
Okay, all right. That was Stevie Kreskin.
Steve, just for what it's worth, interestingly enough, the pullback into last night about 8 p.m.
Yes.
tested that number exactly and then reversed higher.
Absolutely. So I knew you'd be watching it like a hawk, and we just had to save that just for the last tidbit of information, folks. And what that is, that represents the apogee pivot point. Apogee is when the moon is furthest from the Earth during the current lunar process. And for reasons I don't know, I just know that it works. It either acts as support or resistance. And as John said last night, it was a perfect act of that support level of 1872.80. Hey, John, always good to speak to you. Thanks so much for the call. We'll look forward to speaking to you again soon. That was John in Philly. We'll be back in just a few, folks.
If you want to take advantage of this sector, now is the time to subscribe to my Gold Report. The Gold Report is a comprehensive look at the metal sector as well as the markets that move gold, which is the currency and bond markets. New subscribers get a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to lose. Every Monday morning, I publish the Gold Report with coverage of gold, silver, bonds, the XAU, HUI, GDX, as well as more than 30 different mining equities. To see for yourself the types of profitable trades that are recommended within the Gold Report, sign up now by visiting TFNN.com. Don't miss out on the next great gold trade. Sign up today.
TFNN is excited about our new software charting program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts. In collaboration with Tom O'Brien and using his best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, Your Ultimate Trading Mastery System, David White has programmed an outstanding piece of software that will complement any trader's methodology. Using this first-of-its-kind program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts allows you to scan thousands of stocks for Fibonacci formation setups, including Gartley's, ABC's, butterflies, and much more. The Art of Timing the Trade Charts is designed to help you when scouring the markets for stocks just beginning to form the trading patterns that many investors spend days, weeks, or even months searching to find. And right now, we're offering licenses available at only $79 a month. We are so confident that you're going to love this new charting software that will even give you a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. Don't miss out on this incredible new piece of software. Get your copy of The Art of Timing the Trade Charts today by visiting TFNN.com.
Sharpening your skills as an investor is like getting better at playing a musical instrument. You have to practice, sure, but you also need excellent instruction from experts. At TFNN, you'll get advice and guidance from the authority in technical market analysis. And it's not just dry, tedious text either. TFNN airs live financial content streamed live on TFNN.com and TFNN's YouTube channel with Tiger TV, live every market day from 8:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern. For free. Each host is an experienced trader and gives their take on the market while taking calls and questions live from around the world. From the moment the market opens until the closing bell sounds, Tiger TV has 8 different shows with expert hosts to help you make the right moves with your money. Watch online at TFNN.com or on TFNN's YouTube channel and become the investor you were born to be. TFNN, educating investors.
This segment is brought to you by Thinkorswim. For more information, just click the Thinkorswim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Welcome back, folks. You got the Dow up 18, S&P up about 2, NASDAQ up 12 points out there. Let's get to our question. We've got about 5 or 6 that have come in. So let's get to those. The first one coming in from Aaron. This one actually came in yesterday. I didn't catch it, and that was to take a look at Tesla. So as we take a look at Tesla out here, let me just update this chart. Let me make sure it's updated properly. I still have some issue that maybe we're going to resolve today, I'm hoping, with the folks at Ninja Trader. Okay, perfect. So we take a look at Tesla. First of all, there's a brand new profile that is formed out here. I know that I responded back to you, Aaron. So you've got a new support level. That's at 106.35 and your resistance 124.48. So you've got a Rhodes momentum indicator bottom. Price is just consolidating with inside that pattern. As long as price remains above, well, it would negate the signal. So your support level that you're really going to watch is the low of a couple of days ago out at that 101.81. So if you're in a long position and you saw a close below that, that would be signaling to you that the pattern that would get you in that long position has failed. You're not seeing the chart? Boy, it's showing up on my screen. Let's try to redo this again. Thank you, Mr. Bill. Let's restart this here. And it should be the white background charts. Perfect. Okay. So you should see the white background charts again. The new profile. It's bullish in structure. 106.34, key level of support, 124.48, but you're really looking at the low of January 6 as your key support area. That's down at the 101.81 level. On a weekly basis, last week, what Tesla did was it confirmed a buy the D point pattern. It did that when it generated a bullish hammer candle. Now, much like John and I were talking about the weekly chart for gold, what should form here, what should take place here, now that we have a valid bottom on it, is a move to its oscillator and change line. In the case of the daily time frame, price is already above that level. So the weekly chart suggests a run towards 148.35. The monthly chart is the fly in the financial ointment. It's the one without any kind of a bottom signal. It says that if those bottoms that we just took a look at, especially at a hammer candle, which is going to match up with the Rhodes momentum indicator bottom pattern from Friday out there, it says if we get a close below that, price is going to head to 56.94. But if you're asking, is Tesla a buy? The answer is yes. It's pulling back today. Let's take a look at this. Let's populate this 30-minute time frame chart. See if there's any clue here. So let's get this data going as to where price might head to in the case of Tesla. So it looks like it may have just bottomed. Now, I say may have just bottomed because it's only 11:32. Bar number 9 does not complete for another 28 minutes, but it is in bar number 9. And all that price needs to do in the next 28 minutes is close below 119.80 to give you a confirmed TD9 count bottom after this little breakout here. Well, it was a gap to the upside this morning. So you should see a 30-minute bottom pattern form basically between now and 12:30. So it's 11:32 right now, so within the next hour, and it may have already taken place out there. So that's what the 30-minute time frame chart. So if you're looking, if you haven't taken that long position, you're most welcome to do so because the 30-minute chart is suggesting to get in there. You've got the nice daily and weekly charts, but you do have that battle, and that's at the 124.48. And if price can overtake that battle, then we're looking for a move to the 148. I said 124.48. Then that would give us a signal of a move to 148.30. So, Aaron, thanks much for waiting a day out there. Much appreciated. Let's go to our next request. This is coming in from Mr. Bill. Oh, I don't. So, Mr. Bill, I'm going to put you on hold there for a moment because we've got a caller. It is Brent in Martinez, California. Brent, thanks for calling. Happy New Year to you. How are you today?
Happy New Year to you, Steve.
Thank you very much. Much appreciated. So, you're calling about ticker symbol BDI. What is BDI? What are you doing? Well, how can I best help you?
It's not. I just gave them those that acronym. What I was wondering about is if you ever do any work with the it's called the Baltic Dry Index. Do you ever do anything with that with your charting?
I don't have access to it. Is BDI the symbol? Is that the index symbol?
It does come up sometimes that way, but I've never really looked it up that way. I just go to a general search of the Baltic Dry Index, and on occasion it does have that, the BDI, so I'm not positive.
Yeah, I know that I tried in the past to get that, and I think I had to subscribe, subscribe to another data feed or something. So I don't, at least I don't have access to it that I know of now. But I'll call and just see if anything has changed out there. And I see where, and I'm doing the same type of research that you did. And I see BDI or BDIY. I can try here BDIY, see if that pops up anything. And the answer is no. Let me try it on the index side, BDIY. Yeah, no, I get nothing there. Is there a stock that is what's the leader in the Baltic Exchange Dry Index? Do you know which stock might be the leader there?
It seems to affect, of course, the dry bulk shippers. Yeah. And there's a whole gaggle of those. So I just
anyone that you follow?
I've done a little work with it myself, just using that charting that I found.
Okay.
But I was just curious if it was something that you ever looked at.
Yeah. Is there a Baltic Dry Index chart or entity that you take a look at that we should pop up on the screen?
Just the one that I mentioned that I can find. It's not great.
Okay.
It's just it's not the type of charting I like to do. It's just a real basic. I mean, about as basic as you can get with the chart.
Got it.
But it doesn't really it's not detailed the way I want it to be. So.
Okay, I wish I could pull it up. I know that Tom most certainly can, but I'll make another call to the folks at eSignal, see if there's any easy way for me to get that. But nothing I can do right now today to assist you with that. My apology for that.
Not a problem at all. Just I was going to quickly ask, I think we're still in that TD9 count on natural gas, correct, on the daily?
Well, let's go.
I think Wednesday, Thursday, Friday would be the days that would be 8, 9, and the bar after 9, I believe. But
so let me do this here. Let me get to the. Let me pull up the natural gas charts. It'll take just a moment to get to those, but if you give me just a moment, and then we'll just simply confirm that.
I'm still trying to just be patient with that one and see if I'm still waiting for that 268 on the natural gas itself.
Yeah, well, so it broke through that low, and I think that it did. Let's get the charts up here. So on the daily time frame, I don't have any kind of a TD9 count pattern here. Now I've got the March contract up because I know we're going to be rolling over to that. So I don't have any kind of for me, it's really about the A to B equals CD pattern, because on the daily time frame, price did negate its TD9 count bottom out there, and it did that on January the 3rd. And on a weekly time frame, we're only in bar number 5 this week. On a monthly time frame, we can see that price is trading below its December 2020 lows out there. So if we get and yesterday was so close, Brent. It was so close to generating a 3-river evening star pattern out there, and so it really looked good. I almost sent out a alert message to subscribers to say, hey, go ahead and take a long position inside natural gas. But I've seen this too often, where what the candle looks like at 11:30 in the morning, it looks totally different at the close. So I've just found, especially with price below that red oscillator and change on a daily basis, it just made sense to sit tight. Now there is a new profile, so there is a new resistance level I actually have, which is up at the 387 level out there. So that's going to be a price point that natural gas will have to overcome. That's on the March contract to suggest a change in trend. So I don't see any kind of a bottom signal yet. I think we just have to be patient, and 268 may be where price is headed to. I hope I'm showing those charts. My God, let me make sure.
Oh, no, it's okay. Yeah, I've seen them, and I agree with you. I'm just going to be patient. It'll do stuff like that. It gives you a little head fake and makes you think that that's it, and it doesn't. We've had a lot of one-day wonders like that, where it makes it look like there has a decent little bounce, but then it just is back below that level the next day.
And even supporting yesterday's potential call to take the long position was we had nice bottom patterns on some of the intraday charts out there. But, it's always nice for confirmation. And we didn't get that yesterday. So, Brent, I think we're going to get our natural gas down around 268. Hard to believe, isn't it?
It is pretty crazy. All right, thanks so much, Steve. Have a great day and a great weekend.
You bet. Take care. That was Brent in Martinez, California. When we get back, we're going to take a look at Amazon for Mr. Bill.
You might think that if you want to be successful at trading in the stock market, you're going to need a crystal ball. After all, it's impossible to predict the future, right? Like any endeavor in life, before you decide it's impossible, get some advice from the experts. You might find that it's not so impossible after all. For daily market overviews that give you direction on the key indices, selective stocks, and commodities, subscribe to the Opening Call newsletter at TFNN.com. The Opening Call newsletter is written by Basil Chapman, creator of the trading methodology known as the Chapman Wave. The Chapman Wave up-down sequence gives you an edge in identifying price turns, finding the peaks and valleys in stock prices. Get the Opening Call newsletter by Basil Chapman in your inbox every day. First-time subscribers also get a 30-day money-back guarantee. If you're not satisfied, let us know, and you'll get a full refund within 30 days of signing up. TFNN.com, educating investors.
The technology around us is changing every day. With so much happening, it can seem impossible to keep up with all the information. David White's investment newsletter, The Technology Insider, is designed to give you all the information you need to understand the technology that shapes today's markets and tomorrow's future. David White has made his living staying on the cutting edge of technology. His weekly newsletter will give you specific recommendations for value tech stocks, as well as entry prices, target prices, and stops to set for each trade. Dave delivers his weekly newsletters every Friday with updates throughout the week. You can get the Technology Insider at TFNN.com for only $37.50. Sign up for David's newsletter, The Technology Insider, and get an inside look at everything the technology sector has to offer. Try it risk-free today with our 30-day money-back guarantee. TFNN, educating investors.
Are China A-shares hot or not? If you trade China A-shares, now may be time to take a closer look. Trade CHAU or CHAD, Directions Daily CSI 300 China A-share Bull and Bear ETFs. China A-shares in either direction. Visit directioninvestments.com today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction shares at 866-476-7523. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
This program is brought to you by Vista Gold, traded on the NYSE American and TSX under the symbol VGZ.
Welcome back, folks. So a bit of a bumpy ride out there. Still mixed up board. You've got the Dow up 3 points, S&P off 1, NASDAQ down 3, Russell's up 9, semis are off 5, trannies down 52. Let's go take a look at Amazon for Mr. Bill inside the Tiger's Den. So give me a moment here. We'll pull up those charts and we make sure I'm on the right screen. I am. That's a good thing. So if we take a look at Amazon here, Amazon formed a Rhodes Momentum Indicator bottom. It was reconfirmed again yesterday. Bullish engulfing candle, key reversal bar. I see a wave number 7 signal out here. What Amazon should do, Mr. Bill, is make its way up to the top of its daily profile. That is currently printed out at 91.48. If Amazon can close above 91.48 on a daily time frame, that'll give you a bit of a change in trend signal out there. So it's about 2 1/3% right now, up $2.08. It should make that run for 91.48. That's the daily time frame. Weekly time frame, what we have out here is a confirmed Rhodes Momentum Indicator bottom. Last week was a key reversal bar. Was also a wave number 7 bar out there. Now, new weekly profile has formed here, Mr. Bill, and you can see it's bearish in structure. So the sell zone out there is between 92.61 and 97.08. So even though price is going to likely get to that 91.48, it's got a little bit of resistance up above that at the 92.61 level. And once it gets into 92.61, or somewhere in that range is where all the sellers are hanging out. 97.08, 92.61 and 97.08. Now, if we look at the monthly time frame chart for Amazon, price pulled back, tested, and rejected its breakout level. So you've got basically 3 bottoming pattern here for Amazon: daily, weekly, and monthly. And now what Amazon's got to deal with are all those sellers, again, at 91.48, 92.61, and 97.08 is that area. If we take a look at the 30-minute time frame chart out here, what we will see is that there's a Rhodes Momentum Indicator signal, but no bearish reversal candle, and price above profile, as well as this green oscillator and change line. So even though you've got a signal out here, price right now remains bullish even for the 30-minute time frame. So I hope that helps you out, Mr. Bill, with regard to Amazon. Thanks so much for being patient and waiting. The next question coming from Nicholas. Nicholas wants me to take a look at the NQ. So let me get those charts up on our screen out here, and let me see if I can read his question. Well, I know I can read it. Good morning. Would you please go over NQ, looking to enter the short trade, the SQQQ trade. Thank you. Have a great Taco Tuesday. I say be careful, but I don't know what the time frame that you're looking for out here. So as we take a look at the NQ, what we know right now is we look at the daily time frame. You've got a nice TD9 count bottom. The TD9 count bottom was confirmed on December the 29th. That has led to nothing more than a consolidation with inside that profile. So if you're asking where would you sell it, which I believe is your question, that 11,280 level would be the number to look at. What was the high today? 11,283. That's the level out here. If I look at a 5-hour time frame chart, I don't have any kind of a confirmed topping pattern out here, nor do I on the 240, nor do I on the 120-minute time frame chart. Do I have a topping signal on the 60? No, I don't. In fact, what I've got, I don't have a topping pattern there. Nothing on the 30. Nothing on the 15, nothing on the 10. I take that back. The 10-minute, much like what the ES, the NQ, and the Dow did earlier this morning, this 10-minute time frame generated bar number 9 of a TD9 count. That took place at 10:20 this morning. And price pulled back, and what it did was it tested and rejected its breakout level. So you're asking where to go. Let me see if on the Apogee Perigee charts where we're at. Okay, so I'm going to switch over. John and I, when we were talking about gold, I pulled this chart up here. It's a tool that I developed, I don't know, about 10, 11, 12, 13 years ago or so. What is it? Yeah, it's been a while. So we're going to switch over to those charts. Here's the level that I would be watching, and Nicholas, and this is from a short-term standpoint trade. So Apogee and Perigee. Right now we're looking at Apogee. Again, that's when the moon was furthest from Earth, when that lunar phase came in. It came in Sunday morning. Recollection sometime around 5 something or 4 something in the morning. I can't be sure off the top of my head. So when you have a Apogee or Perigee lunar phase that takes place in between market hours out there, you're typically looking at either the open of the current bar or the close of the prior bar out there. So here what I've used is I've used the open out there, and it was because price was so close to Sunday, and I used the Sunday open in essence on that, and that was the Sunday open from this week. So if price closes below 11,134.50, then that suggests, okay, entertaining the short position. But on a 30-minute basis, the bottom of that 30-minute profile is at the 11,115.17 area. So if you're committed to the short side, then on a 30-minute basis, you would go ahead and sell from the top of its profile at 11,264 or thereabouts. Right now, you're in between. And with price being above that Apogee lunar phase, it just says be careful. Now, in the case of the ES Mini, it's trading just below its Apogee pivot point, which is held as resistance. So, and this is really was the ES Mini where I developed this tool. And I didn't go searching for this specific tool. I went searching for every single possible planetary alignment that I could find that had consistency from one instance to the next, to the next, to the next. And I couldn't find that. But what I did find in checking it out was the lunar phase of Apogee and Perigee. So now what we can see here, this came in, so you can see I've got the open of Sunday night. By the way, the close of last Friday was at the 39.1375 area. But we can see that in choosing the open of Sunday, price would tested that level at $1,500. That was yesterday. Got right through that area. I don't know what pattern, if any, formed out there to identify the bottom out here. But on the 240-minute chart, I know it was a TD9 count bottom that did form. And so what we can also then see out here is that now prices below it and all the rallies have stopped. The body of the candle has stopped right at the 39.1850 level. So that's the ES Mini. So if you're going to choose one to short right now, geez, I'd rather see you short the ES Mini than the NQ out there. But, I'd probably have to wait for the NQ to fail in order to suggest that. So, Nick, I hope that helped you out with regard to the NQ out there, and have a terrific Tuesday. We've got Michael who wrote and wants to take a look at ticker symbol STZ. So let's get over to give me a moment. Let's get over to the white background charts. Let me switch my screen. We'll go take a look at STZ for Michael. We'll actually read his question. That way I make sure that I answer it. Let's get over to those STZ charts. And I think they're right here. Yes, they are. So STZ, seems like I should know what that is. STZ is, but I don't recall. STZ is Constellation Brands. Oh, yeah, I should know who these guys are. So Constellation Brands is selling right now, is priced out at $219.18. Let me take a look at... Oh, that was a question from Hector. Okay. From Michael. It says, I was long yesterday, closed the trade. Okay. Earnings this week, and we had a gap up today. Do you see a re-entry before earnings? So you were long re-entry. So all that price has done today actually is test it's the top of its daily profile. And that profile formed yesterday. So, Michael, price would need to close above the top of its profile, but the oscillator and change line, the red oscillator and change line, which has really acted as resistance on the daily time frame for quite some time, that's where price would need to close above. So 222.66. So would you chase this now? I don't think so. I mean, it would have to really have a real compelling reason, some type of bottoming signal on an intraday time period chart out there. So it is up, but it's running the resistance out here. We don't know whether the resistance will hold or not. Right now, it is at least held, so we at least have that piece of information. The weekly time frame chart out here with regard to STZ, not helpful to us, nor is the monthly. Real quickly out here, Michael, let's put up the 30-minute time frame, see if there's any signals here. And there's a wave number 7. So price might be pulling back just to 218.36, maybe even 215.86 out there. Perhaps 215.86 would be your entry area if price got back there. We'll be right back.
If you're looking for potential trading setups in the stock market, then Rocket Equities and Options Report is a newsletter you should try. Tommy O'Brien delivers options and equity trades when the markets present them, using a combination of fundamentals and technicals. Sign up for Rocket Equities and Options Report today with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to risk. For all the details and to start your subscription today, visit the front page of TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
You might think that if you want to be successful at trading in the stock market, you're going to need a crystal ball. After all, it's impossible to predict the future, right? Like any endeavor in life, before you decide it's impossible, get some advice from the experts. You might find that it's not so impossible after all. For daily market overviews that give you direction on the key indices, selective stocks, and commodities, subscribe to the Opening Call newsletter at TFNN.com. The Opening Call newsletter is written by Basil Chapman, creator of the trading methodology known as the Chapman Wave. The Chapman Wave up-down sequence gives you an edge in identifying price turns, finding the peaks and valleys in stock prices. Get the Opening Call newsletter by Basil Chapman in your inbox every day. First-time subscribers also get a 30-day money-back guarantee. If you're not satisfied, let us know, and you'll get a full refund within 30 days of signing up. TFNN.com, educating investors.
Everything in the universe is governed by the Fibonacci sequence. This mathematical principle is responsible for everything from the most aesthetically pleasing artwork to patterns in the stock market. To stay on top of stock patterns you can take advantage of, sign up for the Fibonacci 24/7 newsletter at TFNN.com. When you subscribe, you'll get a weekly report from veteran day trader Larry Pesavento on stocks you need to pay attention to. And you can trust Larry's analysis. After all, he's got 45 years experience as a day trader. Larry will also provide daily charts, videos, and data on the key markets that he's tracking. Expect notifications from Larry on market movement you need to act on at any time. First-time subscribers also get a 30-day money-back guarantee. If you're not satisfied, let us know and you'll get a full refund within 30 days of signing up. Subscribe to the Fibonacci 24/7 newsletter today. TFNN.com, educating investors.
TFNN has launched the Tiger's Den, hosted at Discord. TFNN has been educating traders for more than 20 years with live programming hosted by a variety of professional traders during market hours. The Tiger's Den, available to all tigers and tigresses for just $1 for the year. There's no catch or added costs when you join our community of traders. Sign up today and become a part of this educational community of traders. Just visit the front page of TFNN.com.
Welcome back, folks. So just to finish off the NQ chart we were taking a look at for Nicholas out there, and he wrote back to me, he said, hey, the reason I'm considering the short was because of this chart here that we're taking a look at. Now, this chart is taking a look at the NQ, and the numbers on there reflect consecutive closes above a prior close. Those are the black digits, and consecutive closes below a prior close. Those are the red digits out there. Well, you'll see with those blue arrows is the counter trend move typically take place with 2 consecutive bars. There's one 3-bar rally out there. And so I understand using that and expecting and anticipating a retracement, not a top necessarily. So price above that red oscillator and change line. We know the daily and the NQ's got that bottom pattern out there. So, if it's short, which if you're going to take a short, it's got to be for, or should be for, a very short-term time frame, at least based upon those charts. So I hope that helps you out. Now let's go to Hector's question, which was take a look at Freeport-McMoran. FCX is the ticker symbol out there. Right now, you're taking a look at the black background charts. And here, the Australian dollar and FCX almost are in lockstep with each other. So you can see out there, FCX has had a nice move. It's actually taken out its TD9 count top and suggests lower price. You can see that the Australian dollar has also been moving higher. Now let's go switch to those white background charts. Let's first take a look at, let's not take a look at what I first have up there, because that's not what we're going to do. We're going to take a look at that, not there. We're going to take a look, real quick peek at the Australian dollar, and we take a look at this Aussie dollar. Nice TD9 count bottom that formed out there. That was back in October. And so what price should do, prices should go target the 0.7125. In other words, Australian dollar on a weekly basis is signaling to you and I that it should continue to move higher. Well, that's going to bode well then for FCX. If we take a look at FCX and you look at the daily time frame, or the weekly time frame, I should say, the weekly time frame last week closed above the top of its profile, negated a TD9 count top. That is also suggesting higher price out here. If I look at the weekly chart, where is price likely going to go target? Well, it's dealing right now with this little swing point out here, Hector and Patty, and that was from June the 10th. And if price can close above 43.62, it ought to make its run all the way back to the highs from back in March of 2022. Folks, always great to be with you. Please have a terrific Tuesday. Stay tuned for all the great programming out here, and I'll be back with you tomorrow at 11 a.m. sharp. Thanks for joining us. Have a great day. Be careful out there.